So you have the doubts regarding the report writing and invitation. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So first we will take up report writing. Hope you have got to know this is what report writing, I think you had been doing right from class 9th onwards. And right from class 9th, the students are being told that we have two types of report. One is the newspaper report writing and the other is magazine report writing. The format is not much different from each other, yet there is the difference, right? So I'm going to discuss both the formats with you, with the specimen, with the samples also. So you should just try to identify the difference and be very, very careful when you get report writing in the exam. First of all, you have to see whether it is newspaper report writing or it is magazine report writing. Because newspaper report writing is quite formal, whereas magazine report writing is not that formal. However, it is also going to be published. It has to be a formal language, yet there is the difference. Is that clear? So first of all, what is a report? It's a writing, a systematic and well-organized presentations of facts and findings about something. That facts and findings could be about an event, an incident. It can be an issue also, something that has happened somewhere, right? So first of all, see the newspaper report writing. Here is the format of the newspaper report writing. When you begin newspaper report, how you will begin? First of all, heading, the title. Now, let me tell you from completely examination point of view that the title or the heading of the report, it carries 1 mark. If your content is not correct, there is a lot of spelling mistakes, grammatical errors. Examiner has no scope to give you marks. But you have written, so examiner would think, okay, I would give half mark for the content. But if you have written a heading, a title, you will definitely get, if it is relevant and accurate, you will get 1 mark. Otherwise, 0.5 you will definitely get there also. Title is absolutely wrong, no marks can be given. But if the title is close to the issue, maybe there are some errors, but half mark you would definitely get. So do remember, when you start article writing, when you start speech writing, when you start report writing, begin it with a heading. Now, we are certain important things to remember while you are thinking of a heading or title for the report. See that it has to be precise, to the point. Just as for example, if this is an accident, if this is a report on accident, then it has to be very clear in the heading that the reader immediately knows what the report is about. If it is about Ukraine-Russia war, then you see that the title has to be what? Ukraine-Russia rift, split, conflict, isn't it? Or Ukraine-Russia in war zone. You see that the heading should be to the point that speaks of the content, that speaks of the issue being taken up in the report. The heading, if a good heading tells everything, that captures the interest of the readers. Then the title has to be short. The title has to be short. precise, to the point, and short. It should not be a long sentence, right? It should not be a long sentence. The best title is, the length of the title is within 6 words, not more than that. If I say Ukraine, Russia at war, you see 4 words, right, Manish? And if I say Ukraine, Russia conflict, you see 3 words. It can be 2 words also, it can be 1 word also, but it should not be exceeding 6 words. It would be too long, and the reader would not find it interesting. All right? Then it has to be a strong statement or a phrase. It should not be very casual. It has to be strong, meaningful, very relevant, right? When I say Ukraine, Russia conflict, okay. But when I say Ukraine, Russia in war zone, now that conflict, when I say that conflict can be political conflict, economic conflict, it can be any other conflict. But when I say in the war zone, oh my God, that draws everybody's attention. 2 countries warring, one superpower warring with Ukraine, right? So it has to be strong statement or a phrase. Then catchy, interesting, eye-catching. Eye-catching, that caption, that heading, that draws the attention of the readers. That draws the attention of the readers. When we do notice writing, we always give the title eye-catching. And we always tell the children, the teacher must have told you that the notice, when it is put upon the notice board, the heading should be such that the students, they pass by, they notice, and they stop and they read. So the heading should be that eye-catching, that it compels the reader to stop and read. Is that clear, the title?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now the next is byline. Byline is given just below the title in the next line, but the line actually starts from the extreme left side. But byline has to be written just below the title. Now, byline comprises of the name of the reporter, right? The name of the reporter. Sometimes the name of the reporter is not given in byline. Simply one writes reporter, right? Sometimes it is written news correspondent, by news correspondent. Sometimes it is given the initials of the newspaper and then correspondent. Just as, for example, you are a news correspondent of the Hindustan Times, right? So what you will write, by HT correspondent. After the class, you pick up the newspaper and you will find it written there, HT correspondent, TOI correspondent, or HT reporter, TOI reporter, right? Now begins the report. And now in the next line, in the third line, which you have to start from the extreme left side, there, what will you write first? First of all, date. How to write the date, I'll tell you. Place. And then your report should be giving answer to 5 W's. 5 W's. What are these W's? What, where, when, who, and why. All these have to be outlined in the first paragraph, that is opening paragraph. Opening paragraph includes date, place, and then what the report is about. where the incident has happened. It can be an accident, it can be a war, it can be report of a killing, it can be report of, say, the roof collapsed, the building collapsed, right? It can be a train accident. It can be a function. It can be a blood donation camp also. So where the incident, where the event has happened, when it has happened, the report must include the day, date, and time. In particular, Manish, when you are writing about an incident, an accident that has happened, or any program that is happening, in that case, the time, date, and day, they become very, very important. The reason is when the accidents happen, you know that the investigation is done. And by all these details, they help a lot in proving the cause of the accident. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Then the other one is who. Who meaning who are the people involved? Who are the people involved in the accident, the victims and the accused? Who are those victims? Who are those who are responsible for that accident? Or who the people are there attending that event? Who is organizing the event? Who is attending the event? Right? Then why? Why the accident has happened? Why the incident has happened? All these details have to be outlined. Of course, the reason you cannot give in the opening paragraph, you will give later on. But in the opening paragraph, at least you have to write what the report is about, where it has happened, when it has happened. Clear? Now the second paragraph. In the second paragraph, it is development. Development is the development of the report, where you have to give the sequence of the event that is happening. That sequence of the event can be sequence of the accident. The accident happened at 1 o'clock at midnight, right? Which vehicle was there, which vehicles were involved, where they were coming from, what time they came, what happened at one point, after that, who was killed, who survived, who ran, who was caught. All these chains of events, one by one, in a chronological order, you have to give. Sometimes the clues are given, hints are given, sometimes they are not given. When they are not given, then you have to cook up yourself. Right? Chronological order, do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. One by one.
Yes, one by one in the order of the events that had happened. Now, the third paragraph is authenticity of the news. Authenticity of the news, how would you prove? How would you confirm that this incident has happened? You will give the opinions of the people. You will give some evidences in your report. Which evidences have been found? Just as for example, if a drunken driver, you can say that some alcohol, wine bottles were found near the bonnet of the vehicle. That confirms and that assures that the driver was drunk, right? And then opinions of the people. The people gathered there, they were the witness to this thing happening. One of them had said, the other commented, etc., etc. Then the last para is conclusion. In the conclusion, what action has been taken? In the third paragraph only, you will get to know, you will mention, the reason. In para 4, you will talk about action that has been taken. Of course, the police has been reported, the police arrived, or the fire brigades were called for help. They came late or they came on time. They could quench the fire. They could quench the fire. They could put out the fire, right? Or it can be that the driver, he had run away, but the local people, they had helped to nab the driver. He was caught, right? Then the plan for future action. Then, of course, that the injured ones, they were rushed to the hospital. Then what next? What will be done to the driver? And then you have to end it with 2 or 3 general statements about accidents. They are happening. What are the causes of those very accidents frequently happening, etc., etc. Is that clear? Is the format clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubt in any point, you can ask me. Then I'll give you example.
No, ma'am.
No? Okay. Now here you see, here is an example of newspaper report. Now, what is the problem? You are Sumit or Sumita, staff correspondent of the Times of India. Staff correspondent refers to the news reporter or news correspondent. You have been asked to cover a bus accident where 8 people lost their lives. Write a report giving all the necessary details. Now you just read this carefully. Now, what was the format? First of all, you have to give a heading. What is the heading here?
Disastrous accident.
Disastrous accident, right? Now, what it is, the question says a bus accident, right? So your heading is very precise, to the point, disastrous accident. You could say disastrous bus accident also, right? The killer accident could also be said, but disastrous accident is very, very appropriate. Now, what is the B line?
Then byline reported by Sumit.
Right, reported by Sumit.
Sumit.
Now, here one thing I tell you, Manish, here we have written reported by Sumit because the name is given here. Name of the reporter is given, right? If the name of the reporter is given, do remember, you have to mention the name. Otherwise, you will lose marks. If it is not given, you can simply say reported by TOI correspondent, right? Now here we have written the name as well as TOI correspondent also. Why? Because these have already been mentioned in the question. So we have to use this information. We have to put this information in. Okay. Reported by Sumit, TOI correspondent. Now what it is, the name of the newspaper is also covered and your status is also highlighted. Okay, reported by Sumit, TOI correspondent. If the name is not mentioned, simply mention you are staff correspondent of the Times of India. Then you could simply write reported by TOI correspondent. In that case, you don't have to put TOI correspondent in the bracket. I have put it in the bracket because Sumit is the TOI correspondent, right? So this is the description of Sumit. That's why it has been put in the bracket. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now here is the opening paragraph. Opening paragraph begins with the date. How to write the date? 4 October 2020, comma. All these things which I am telling you, these are important and you have to remember. Okay, you just pick up the newspaper, you will find this is how the date is written in the newspaper reports. You will not write 4/10/2020. No, you will not write 4th October. You will not write October 4. Write 4 October 2020, comma. Why comma here? Because this was the date, and next you are going to write the name of the place now. So it is New Delhi. Now here you will write New Delhi. You will not write Ashok Vihar or Pitampura or Rohini or Rana Pratap Bagh or Trinagar, etc., etc. No. Because these are happening in New Delhi. You will write about the name of the city, not name of the colony or the town. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now here begins the report. Right? This is the opening paragraph. Now, opening paragraph, listen carefully. At least 8 people were killed and 24 others injured after the bus had an accident in West Delhi. Right? It should be Northwest Delhi, actually. Anyway, no problem. So, what it is, the very first line of this report tells us that a bus accident had happened where in West Delhi. What was the result? People killed and some injured. Right? According to the officials, the accident took place on Monday at 1 a.m. So time and the day is also mentioned in the capital city near Pitampura metro station. So exactly the place has also been mentioned. Earlier it was mentioned Northwest Delhi. Now here it has been exactly the location given, that is Pitampura metro station. Is that clear? So this is a brief outline of the accident, right? Now the second paragraph. A senior police officer posted in the area said that the tragic road accident that took place in Northwest Delhi had left 7 people dead and a dozen injured. The accident victims include members of a family who were coming from a party when the bus overturned. So what has happened? At 1 a.m. on Monday, the members of the family, they had been killed and injured because their bus overturned when they were coming from a wedding party. Now, if you have more than this, the word limit, then of course you can elaborate the same information, right? For example, you could say that a family consisted of, or a family of, say 15 members were coming by a bus from a wedding party. Their bus had overturned. As a result, some of them were killed on the spot, whereas others injured seriously. You will elaborate this, okay? Now the next paragraph, according to the police, the bus overturned after which the driver lost control and fell into the roadside ditch. Following the accident, locals and police teams rushed to the spot and took the injured to B.R. Ambedkar Trauma Center of Treatment. You can also add here. You can also add that the bus overturned after which the driver lost control, fell into the roadside ditch. 5 people lying on the footpath there, they had witnessed the accident. They immediately called the police. With the help of police, had arrived on time. With the help of locals and those sleeping on the pavement, The police team had rushed to the spot. With their help, they had taken the injured one, to B.R. Ambedkar Trauma Center for treatment. Or it can be a nearby hospital for treatment. Can be Saroj Hospital, can be Rajiv Gandhi Hospital, can be B.R. Ambedkar Hospital, can be Jaipur Golden Hospital, any. And it is not necessary to write these names. You can also cook up your own names of the hospital. Right? Now, the next paragraph. Following the accident, the driver escaped. An FIR has been registered against the driver and ordered an investigation to ascertain the cause behind the accident. The cause has not been found out, but it is being analyzed. It is being guessed. The drink driving seems to be the cause of this casualty, but the probe is on. Then a general statement: deadly road accidents are common in India, caused by drink driving, rash driving, overloading, and due to bad conditions of the road. According to an official report released by the ministry, on an average, India witnessed over 450 deaths in road accidents every day since 2017. Then, of course, it can be added that the traffic monitoring has to be done to keep a check on frequent road accidents. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now here is a question for practice. You must practice, right? As a reporter of Delhi Times, you have been asked to publish your facts and findings about the condition of migrants who were stuck up at Delhi borders during pandemic. As a reporter of Delhi Times, you have been asked to publish your facts and findings about the medical students who have been stuck up in Ukraine during Russia-Ukraine war. They are being evacuated. Give a report about the situation there, or about their evacuation plan by the government. So such are the events that can be given to you to report. Is that clear? Now here is another one, magazine report. Now you see that in the newspaper report you are giving heading. In magazine report also you have to give heading. In magazine report, when you give the heading, again the same thing. It has to be precise, very relevant, within 6 words only, not long. Right? Byline. Now, when you write magazine report, in magazine report, you cannot write reporter. You cannot write by news correspondent or TOI correspondent. No, because this is magazine. This is not the news reporter. This is not the newspaper. So you have to write the name. If the name is given, write that name. If no name is given, you will just cook up a name, but don't write your name. Okay. Then responses to the 5 W's. What, where, when, who, why. Right? Now what? The event that has happened. Where? The place of the event, where it is happening. When, day, date, and time. And who? The people involved. And why? The reason. In para 2, para 1 is opening paragraph. Now in the opening paragraph, just as you did in newspaper report writing, in magazine report, you will not write the date. You will not begin the opening paragraph with date, year, and place. No. You will just start it straight. Okay? Yes. In the second paragraph, again, the sequence of the events in chronological order. In third paragraph, authenticity of the news. authenticity of the news or authenticity of the information that you are putting in, that is evidence. What evidences you find that help you share the situation with your readers. Then para 4, conclusion. Again, the same thing. What action is being taken and what has been planned for future. Is that clear? Yes, any doubt?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay. Here is an example. Write a report for your school magazine on the career counseling held at your school for the outgoing batch of class 12 students. Right? Now read the question carefully. You will get a lot of information from there, in particular when you are writing heading title. In the previous report also, you got the idea from there that this is a report about an accident where the people have been killed and injured. So the heading was disastrous accident. Now here, what is it about? Career counseling. Simply write career counseling. A report about career counseling. In byline, it's by Raja, by Manish, by Manisha. It can be any, right? A career counseling session was organized. Now you see the beginning of the opening paragraph. No date mentioned here. No place mentioned here. It just starts like this. A career counseling session was organized for the students of class 12 of Mother Teresa School on 26 December 2020 in the school premises. The name of the school is also revealed here. Which class was this? That is also given here. And then the date is also given and the place as well. In the second paragraph, Shri J. A. Rajaram, professor of Delhi University, was the chief guest. He was welcomed by the principal, Mrs. Roy. Now you see the sequence of the events. First, the professor was the chief guest. Second, principal, Mrs. S. Roy. The chief guest was welcomed by the principal, Mrs. S. Roy. How he was welcomed? With a bouquet of flowers. The chief guest inaugurated the counseling session by lighting the lamp. This was followed by an invocation to God by recitation of hymns and Ganesh Vandana. The school counselor, Ms. Gitanjali Arora, presented a brief account of the chief guest's accolades and achievements and his expertise as a career counselor. She invited him to the podium. Mr. Ram expressed his views on the need for career counseling. He told that for the outgoing students of a school, career guidance is very essential. Are you following this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now you read from here. He interacted.
He interacted with both the students and parents and clarified their doubts. He explained the career avenues after 12th class. He briefed about the unknown and unpopular courses and areas as well as it was quite an interactive session indeed. Before
Yes, just a minute, right? So here it is given sequence of events, which is continued. But along with that sequence, the comments also, the feedback also. Just as, for example, he says that it was quite an interactive session indeed. It was quite fruitful to the students. The students found this program very useful. Any such sentence in between that always expresses your originality of the ideas, and you are definitely given marks for that. Yes, carry on.
Before he concluded his session, he distributed many pamphlets related to different careers and higher education compiled from various sources. The program added to the curiosity of the students to know more about various options in front of them. The parents seemed to be very satisfied as they got answers to all their queries regarding various careers. They had requested the principal to keep on organizing such sessions.
Yes, correct. So this is what? This is an evidence. This is authenticity, right? Okay, carry on.
The principal had announced that the career counseling windows has been launched on the school's website. The students can get the answers to their doubts regarding careers from the counselors of the school. In the end, she gave her vote of thanks and to chief guest for his benign presence and the parents for their participation and support and the students for being so focused. She also assured the parents about conducting such session in future. The session ended with the chanting of Shanti part.
Yes. So this is how it has been concluded. I hope you have got the idea now.
Yes, ma'am.
The format you must be knowing, but what I doubt is that you have not done the practice. Have you done? Be honest. Have you done the practice of report writing?
Yes, ma'am, I have done, ma'am, but some mistakes are done.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter. Now you will write and you share wherever there is a problem, I will help you. Okay. The two exercises are there. The first one I discussed with you, and here is another one. This is again for magazine. The first one is for newspaper. You are the director, Rotary Interact Club of your school. Your club has recently organized a blood donation camp in the school with the collaboration of Red Cross Society of India. Write your report to be published in the school magazine. Right? So these two, you keep format before you, and following that format, you write the report. Think of some good words, vocabulary, phrases, and write them there.
Ma'am,
Use
the heading
simple
of this,
language.
ma'am,
Yes.
heading of this can be blood donation camp.
Which one? This one?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes. You can write like this: blood donation camp @ KHMS. @ meaning at. Okay. So instead of at 80 at, you can just give that sign @ also. Okay. So
Okay.
it can be blood donation camp at
And ma'am,
KHMS.
they,
Yes.
ma'am, there is not a name. So, ma'am, we can write any name and the director.
Yes. You will write any name. You will write any name. Okay. So these two. Now the rest is invitation. So invitation I'll take up tomorrow.